Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to continue our discussion on the themes from Gulliver's Travel. First theme for today is Book 2 or Fourth Voyage of Gulliver to Kingdom of Houyhnhnms, which had two kinds of creatures. First, Houyhnhnms, and second, the Yahoos. Houyhnhnms were similar to horses or ponies, look wise, and similar to man in England, behavior wise. They were the perfection of nature with their ability to teach civility and cleanliness. They were rational, sensitive, and there were no word in their language to express evil. Their ideal relationship was born out of parents' wishes and mutual respect and not love, contrary to everything that was happening in Europe. Yahoos, on the other hand, were similar to humans look wise, but were actually barbarous and lacked civility. They planted long rows of trees irregularly. They roamed naked and served Houyhnhnms. Next theme is Book 2 as reversal of Book 1. So, the entire narrative of Gulliver, coming from a superior land of superior people, had changed in Book 2, contrary to what he had in Book 1. In his previous three voyages, he found himself better than others, but in fourth voyage, he got a reality check and felt inferior, like he had thought other people to be, with the idea of sense and speech, but no actual use of sense, logic, or rationality. He realized how things he boasted about, like engines, bombs, machines, actually were the means of destruction rather than progress. In last, he also concludes his last narrative by mentioning imperialism, process of ships being sent with the first opportunity, then natives drawn out and destroyed, then princes tortured to give free licenses to inhumanity and lust, then blood of inhabitants and modern colony set to civilize barbarous people. Next theme is comments on England's growing power. So he closes the novel with the mention of colony expansion. For world, England was an example of wisdom, care, justice, propagation of Christianity, civil administration, improved science and technology. But the countries voyaged by Gulliver did not have any desire of transforming from barbarous nation to civilized, not for gold, silver, sugar, tobacco. For them, development did not come at a cost of nature's destruction. For Gulliver, his own family, friends, countrymen were similar to yahoos, that is, without virtues. Humans consider themselves as Houyhnhnms and are proud of good qualities that they think they possess, unlike Houyhnhnms, who should actually be proud of the good things they possess. He thinks to make society of English yahoos insupportable and convert them into a Houyhnhnms like society. Next is Gulliver's identity crisis. So, Gulliver starts his journey of self discovery or self exploration, but by the time he reached Kingdom of Houyhnhnms, he questions his identity and feels lost. He looks at the stark differences between Houyhnhnms and Yahoos and realizes that he is more of a Yahoo than Houyhnhnms, with just the ability of speech and little rationality, which is also not used often. He lacks all the virtues of Houyhnhnms and starts thinking of his family, friends, and countrymen as yahoos. He realized that Houyhnhnms, despite having all the virtues they should be proud of, are not interested in finding pride, unlike humans who take pride in things which are not even pride-worthy. For example, looking and conversing with Houyhnhnms, Gulliver started imitating their gait and gestures, which later became a habit. He was constantly mocked by his friends, though he took that as a compliment. He tried to learn values from his master in the kingdom of Houyhnhnms. Next topic is satire in Journey to Laputa Island. Laputa is the island in air which can raise or sink or put into progressive motion based on monarch's will, which shows the dominance of monarchy over the politics and people of Kingdom of Laputa. In the island, people's head is reclined to either left or right. One eye is turned inwards, other upwards. Outer garments had figures of sun, moons, stars, fiddles, flutes, harps, trumpets, guitar, and other musical instruments. People here were always lost in deep speculations but could not speak or hear. They had hired one flapper who could strike with his bladder in mouth to speak and guide their masters in walking and seeing as they were busy in cognition. They get their entire culture from music and science. Even mutton was cut in equilateral triangle pieces, beef in rhomboid pieces. They also praised women in circles, squares, triangles, etc. But apart from that, houses were ill built without any right angles. They were clumsy and awkward. They were just busy in thoughts about maths and music. They were bad responders. They opposed right opinions and reasons and were involved in fancies and inventions, not enjoying peace of mind, not relaxed even while sleeping. Women were represented as sexual characters who constantly cheat on men, but men are so wrapped up in maths and music that they are not interested in what women, their partners, were involved in. Gulliver found Laputa as boring because people there were much intelligent than him. Satire in Journey to Barney Barbie. So Barney Barbie was the land of scientists where they were working on experiments that Gulliver found pointless. For example, women were trying to extract sunlight from cucumber. They were making gunpowder from ice, trying to make silk out of spider web, taxing people based on their beauty and wit. These are all satires to show foolish experiments in the name of science and illogical taxes imposed by officers in England. Next is a satire on Journey to Glubbdubdrib. Here, Gulliver meets several dead people like Homer, a land of magicians, and had a conversation with them only to find totally different sides of what is usually believed and available in the books, which satirized the fact that how people tend to believe what they are made to believe in spite of having any second thoughts about it. Lastly, Gulliver as an unreliable narrator. So, John Mullan, in his article An Intro to Gulliver's Travel, declares Gulliver as an unreliable narrator. Now, an unreliable narrator is someone who doesn't stick to his words, changes his opinions frequently, and let readers decide for themselves. Based on this, we'll see how he was a unreliable narrator. Example of him being an unreliable narrator is modern versus ancient topic. In the first three voyages, he goes about boasting about modernism, progress in science and development, but in fourth voyage he flips the entire coin and preaches traditionalism. For example, women in Laputa Island as similar to women in England. Also, the concept of marriage in England versus the concept of marriage in Houyhnhnms, which we had discussed previously. The science versus anti science debate. In the first three parts, he couldn't stop boasting about scientific progress and development in navigation, export, import, but in part 4, the progress and purpose of science, for example, import and export of diseases and unnecessary things, vices, luxury, materialism, and destruction of nature. Pro England versus anti England debate till part 3. He takes pride in everything England does and its ways, but in part 4, he exposes England's views, goals, ideologies, and thinks of getting England back to its roots and traditionalism. For example, talking highly of England's influence in the world till part 3 versus questioning England's imperialism and colonialism in part 4. Finally, materialism versus virtues in the fourth voyage to Kingdom of Houyhnhnms, who were rich in virtues, then humans who are without virtues, and the debate of export versus import of unnecessary items. All these examples of unreliability shows Gulliver's hypocrisy, that all he had been taking pride on in the first three voyages, in part 4 he reverses that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be called unreliability, but an intelligent sarcasm. Unreliability can also be seen as Gulliver's thoughts and ideas are naive and gullible, which are easily changed by what he sees and experiences. Another characteristic feature of unreliable narrator is allowing readers to draw their own conclusions from seemingly realistic and straightforward observations. These are all the themes that you need to know about Gulliver's Travel. Please supplement these through more examples from the texts. In the next video, we shall discuss the novel Pride and Prejudice, so stay tuned.